Welcome back to Hidden Power. This is a Pokemon podcast. Today we are discussing everything about Pecharunt, the Mochi Mayhem epilogue for Scarlet and Violet, as well as all of the new lore that we've been able to get for Kitakami and its mythos. My name is DustyGogoat. Today I'm with the LumiosePost.
Hello.
And SoulSilverArt.
Mochi, mochi, mochi.
I hope you guys are doing well.
Mochi.
I can't stop doing the chicken dance.
I just want to be like everyone else and do it.
I should have got like purple contacts or something. Let's start with first impressions of the epilogue itself.
I think you got to measure it in context. Like
Yeah,
there were
'cause it's
some
not
people
DLC,
who were
right.
Like there were some people that I saw that were like, "This was bad, very short," and it's like, dude, it was like a free content.
It's a
drop.
bonus.
I don't know what you were expecting. Like,
That's so true.
but I thought it was very good for what it was. It was Pokemon often is able to find, like, honestly, even in their Pokemon designs, this really nice mixture of cute but also kind of serious, and I felt like they perfected that here. Like the chicken dance, like, that's kind of stupid, right? So like it kind of has that goofy, like, kind of cutesy energy to it, but there was also something unsettling about it.
Yeah,
So
it was creepy. The whole air of it. And I think actually one of the characters, one of the NPCs, actually mentions that it is kind of a distortion or a play on a horror movie. I think one of the characters actually says that. But
Yeah,
that
Penny
is
says
what
that,
it feels like to me, right? That is what it feels like. It felt like I was playing through some sort of zombie flick, right? That's essentially what
A
Okay.
Pokemon-ized version of it.
like a cheap zombie movie.
Yeah.
Right.
Like
That's
corny,
made
you
for
know?
kids.
Yeah.
Like we're talking Scooby-Doo level of horror, not
that's a
you know,
good
The
point, yeah.
Conjuring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Absolutely.
pull the shell off of Pecharunt and you go, and it's like the mayor.
Right. And
I
I would have
loved
gotten
it.
away from it too if it wasn't for you kids and your rotten
Stupid
Pikachu.
Skeledurs. Yeah. What'd you think of it, Soul?
I loved it so much. It was great. It was literally an event.
It was.
Like Pokemon distribution kind of thing. You know,
Yeah.
like
Ooh.
we
Yes.
could have got a distribution instead, guys. This is way better than that.
No,
For sure.
That's honestly, that is the biggest pro of this, is that they have, I don't want to say gone back to, because it's one mythical, so it's too
Yeah,
early
'cause
to
you
say
never
gone
know.
back to.
It's too early to
But
They give us
say.
this,
that
and then
they
they
have
they go
given
back
us
for
an
10 years.
event and a story and lore, and we have to catch a mythical rather
And do
than
a whole bunch of battles, too.
Congratulations!
Yeah.
Here's your Volcanion. Some random guy in a Pokemon Center will give it to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what everyone was asking for, and they literally this is them answering that, like
Yeah.
100%. This is them being like, "Oh yeah,
You know-
everyone's been saying this for years now, so let's do it."
And in
There's
total fairness, they've kind of been taking better steps towards that, right? Like Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl, it would have been easy for them to just distribute Darkrai and stuff in, but they did do the original events, and then which were like that, where there was actually events to get these Pokemon, not just handed to you. Legends Arceus had actual events to get Darkrai.
Legends
Shaman,
Arceus was great
Arceus.
for that. Yeah,
Legends Arceus is just great.
it's so great, period. So when I was on Game Explain representing Hidden Power, I did talk to Jake, and what I was telling him was, I feel like a big pull, and I don't think this is really talked about, right? I think everyone feels this, but they don't really articulate it in this way. When the community is asking for new events, new Pokemon events, and mythical events, stories to go along with these mythical Pokemon, I think really the pull there is obviously new stories, but then also new locations, right? I think a lot of, I think Pokemon events started out with that, where there were new locations and stories and characters that explained a greater story for the mythical. But then over the last 15 years, a lot of that stuff has been hidden away in the code of the games, but they never actually were like distributed in any way, right? So there was always it's almost like lost content. It feels like beta content, right? Which is even worse than not having the content at all, right? To see that it is there and the potential is there, but we never have access to it, I think is the worst part. So I think while this is great, this story is great, I think my immediate takeaway is let's keep it positive. I think I'm excited to see what they could do next and potentially introduce new locations, right? even just a brand new island or something, right? I feel like I think of the Darkrai event, the Cresselia event, maybe not Cresselia, the Darkrai event, Victini event. It's always like islands that you travel to, right? And I think, yeah.
I think Pokemon fans will never be happy.
No, I'm happy. I like this. I like
what
this.
I think.
But I think that's
they
an
did exactly
underlying
what
thing.
we asked for, and that then there's gonna always be something else that they could have done.
You know, another thing too
I am happy
is,
with this. I'm not complaining.
It was there's some really minor thing. I feel like Pokemon has recently, there's been a lot of like, they've taken these really steps on grand things. But there's been a lot of small, like, just kind of quality of life things about the games that they've taken steps back on, actually.
Sure.
And I feel like Mochi Mayhem, there actually was some, like, really big positives there. Like, it would have been really easy to just give Pecharunt, like, the same theme as the Loyal 3. They didn't.
Yeah.
They gave it its own battle theme. They've now issued a little phone case or something.
Yes,
there's
a new giveaway.
That's pretty nice.
There's a new giveaway where you get a new phone case. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
Who's in charge of these things? That's what I want to know. Like, who's just like, and you know what? We're going to give him a phone case too. Like, randomly afterwards. It's just crazy ideas.
They should have given us
small,
like a...
It's small, but it's something, you know? I like that they're... Sometimes I feel most cared about as a customer when someone pays attention to little details.
Details, dude. Guys, Zach, you are 100% correct. I just got off the phone with my buddy. This is a different IRL buddy who's playing gold. He's playing gold version right now for probably the first time since, like, you know, when that game came out. He hasn't played any other Pokemon game. He's like loving it, and he just told me this morning. He said he was like taken aback, and he said, "Wow, I love the detail in this game." Right, little things like the progression of Misty's character, and then we're interrupting her on a date. Like, that's so random and stupid and has nothing to do with the plot, but they still included it, right?
Yep.
So, yeah, I think you're spot on, Zach. It really is the detail in this that is so much fun. And I can't believe that Pecharunt was visible to us the whole time. I was convinced that was a doll, and that was Pecharunt. It's like a dragon egg that has been dormant for a millennia. And then someone, you know, and then Khaleesi bathes in fire, and then it is reborn, or something, right? Like some sort of magical spell happens to trigger its awakening. I had a lot of fun.
I thought that too. I thought it was a decoration as well, and I knew it was like a hint to Pecharunt.
Yeah.
I had no idea it would be the actual thing, so that was really cool.
So there's also like a bunch of really fun details, I think, with the story of this game. I mean, not only. I mean, I honestly, just seeing any Johto Pokemon was exciting. That's not really a teaser or anything. That's literally just Johto Pokemon in Kitakami, but I did enjoy that. I like how all the Pokemon have a Terra type. I thought that was cool. I kind of wish that they had some sort of like glow about them, similar to the human characters. That would have been kind of cool. I've seen people on Twitter.
What do you think they didn't need the Mochi?
Yeah, well, but why do they have the Terra type?
Confirmed, they could have.
Why do they have the Terra type, right?
Yeah, that is interesting that they have the Terra type.
Listen, it's not. These aren't complaints. These are just like things that I'm thinking about.
Yeah, no, I got you. I think
I am being hyper aware of myself right now to be like, I don't want to be negative because I did have a good experience with with this epilogue.
Well, if it was negative for you, then say it.
But... No, it wasn't negative. I think what happens. With a lot
I don't
of
think
Pokemon
I have
content,
a negative about this.
I don't. No, not at all.
Well, no, I do. I do, but we'll get into it.
But I think what happens is like I rush through it for content's sake. And then, and I think with any sort of release, because what was that day? Thursday, Wednesday? It was a content day, right? Mm-hmm. So like in my mind, I think a lot of people are thinking of DLC, like, oh, it's gonna be this big grand thing, but it's not that. So I'm not complaining. But I love this right here. The grandpa had Arbok and Weezing. 100% that's a reference and a callback to Jesse and James.
If the grandma had Arbok, then I would buy this whole thing.
And
like that.
Oh, you've seen this? Okay.
Yeah, when I first read it, I was like, "Oh my gosh, it is!" Because I thought that it said that the grandma and grandpa had had Arbok and Weezing, but it's just the grandpa. I mean, it is.
I mean, it's obviously a reference. They could have.
Yeah.
I'm curious what the Chandelure and the Mamoswine is. That's kind of random.
That's a reference to Jesse and James's cousin, Bert and Ernie.
I knew you said it. I'm like, there's no way there's something.
Yeah.
This is not real. I did not know they all had the poison terror type. That's amazing, actually. I might.
But the thing is, you don't even see.
Well, what's funny,
yeah,
is it's coding. Like they don't terrestrialize them.
Oh, yeah, that does make sense.
Yeah. But I thought it was really cool. The other thing that so obviously you fight like all of these rivals, which I think is really fun. I don't really care about a lot of the battles, but when you have to fight a rival in the post game in a different way, I think that's great content. I always think back to, and I don't even like Sinnoh that much, but when you fight Barry in the battle resort is what it's called, and he's got like level, what is it? It's like level 70 Pokemon or something. That's so cool to me, right? Like when you fight Red at the end of the game, right? I guess he's not really a rival. That's so cool to me. So to see that we're fighting Nimona again and she's got like a new team and she's possessed and there's a story to it, I think that's the kind of thing, because I'm always thinking back to like, I'm like, what is Scarlet and Violet going to be like in 5 years when I'm replaying it, right?
Have you seen like the meme about so Nimona, this is her first time in Kitakami.
Yeah.
And she's using a Komo-O, and then depending on what your starter was, Rabombi, Dusknoir, Milotic, all of those are not found in Paldea. They're in Kitakami. So it means that either when, like at some point, like while you were looking for the remote or whatever, she just went out, caught herself a Jangmo-O, Cutie-Fly, whatever
all
else,
level 86, right?
Or it means that even while possessed by Pecharunt, this girl still had the mindset, I gotta go catch and train.
Okay, so I've heard...
It's one or the other.
What I've heard is that Nimona actually isn't from Paldea, and that instead, because half of her team are Alolan Pokemon, possibly she is from Alola.
No, so later
That's what
on,
I've heard. I don't know if that was Kuro or someone else.
It's tricky, but later in like the League Club thing, she says that she caught Como in Kitakami.
Okay.
And it also says that she had never been to Kitakami before that. Okay. So it had to have been then. I mean, maybe the Rabombi, Milotic, whatever, she caught that previously, because she had been out of Paldea before.
Yeah. She's been
True.
But it specifically says she caught Como or Jangmo in Kitakami, because you can't catch Como.
Yeah.
But it is pretty insane.
Team.
I think the more likely situation is that she got it before she got turned, because she went to go get like the sodas, remember? The meme, I've seen the meme, and it's like, here, I got some soda, and it's like literally Como because she went and caught it.
It's like the thing from like Carly or whatever, where Spencer has the smoothie and like an ostrich, I think it is. And it's like, what you got there? A smoothie? The sodas?
That's way after my time, but I know kind of what you're talking about.
Yeah. You know the meme, at least.
I don't know. I don't know. Anyway.
How about
this?
I
think it was like Carly. I'm starting to second guess that now.
And then
you don't even know the meme.
I can see that. I can definitely think of what you're saying, because it is... She runs off and she's off camera and everyone's looking for her, and she's like in the distance, like T-posing, and then as soon as you enter like that part of the dialogue, then she starts running even further. So I can see that. It's being weird.
It's like there was a certain point that they're talking about the whole horror movie, and it's like dusk, right?
Yeah.
And then they go from there to the hotel, whatever thing that they're staying in, and she's not there, and then she walks in and gets with soda. Yeah. So like that is the small little time period, because it's like from dusk to night that she went somewhere in Kitakami and probably caught it and got the soda and came back, or she did it after when she was possessed, which is the more like, I like that story better. But
classic Nimona.
Oh,
she was so good in this.
Another positive too, talking about like the little bits you get about her backstory and stuff over in the Blueberry Academy. It was also cool that after you do this event, you're able to invite the three of them to the Blueberry Academy to be coaches. And I think also Kieran is unlocked by this. Or was he before? He wasn't. He was.
No, he wasn't yet. He wasn't in there yet.
And that's cool, because you do get more lore. Like Nimona and Lacey knew each other, and Nimona even like when they were younger saw Clay at a party. It does officially confirm that Lacey's dad is Clay specifically. It only said before that it was a gym leader in Uniba, but she goes up to Clay and she's like, battle me, and like Lacey's like, she was wearing some fancy dress and just walks up to Clay in the middle of a party and is like, battle me.
Yeah. If there's one thing, and this goes back to even what you were saying, Lumi. With
Dusty, I just got what your tweet was about.
This thing?
I saw that tweet and I didn't know what you were referencing. Now I get it.
Yeah, so I'm playing through Black and White right now. Actually, I just beat N, but it at the final climax against the, what are they called? Like the hermits, the
sages,
the guardians. They're just like philosophers.
The Zelda sages.
Yeah, the sages, right?
That's
yeah.
what I think of.
So when at the climax in Team Plasma's castle, all of the gym leaders show up, and right smack dab in the middle of the game, in the middle of the room, is Clay and Alisa.
Alexa, I think it's S.
Which also, I honestly am starting to feel uncomfortable about this shipping, because isn't she like, she's an adult though, right?
She's an adult. She's an adult. Okay. It would be a big age difference though. Like we're talking like probably like
as if that doesn't happen in real
20,
life.
Yeah, that happens in real life.
It happens all the time. I know
people are like, people. I've seen people
also, if
on
this guy's
Twitter
a tycoon,
get so upset about this, as people on Twitter do. You know, they're like, this is
shout out to
disgusting.
my
The age
followers
difference
on
is
Twitter.
so large, and it's like, my guy, it's a young woman and a rich man.
Yeah.
That is a stereotype. Like,
Yeah.
you know,
She's rich though in her own right.
She is rich too. She's famous.
She's like a pop star.
I definitely called her a gold digger, and people got on me about that. But
See,
it's not true.
that's only funny because she has yellow hair and she's electric type.
You're wrong anyway. So Clay is the gold digger.
Yeah, because she's electric type.
Because he's
oh,
a
that's
minor.
true. Yeah, because he's a minor.
No, because he's a minor. He's
yeah, and Lisa is not a minor.
He's the real gold digger. Oh my gosh. Anyway, I was saying that the best thing about this, no one was really talking that much about the Indigo Disc after the Indigo Disc finished. But this Mochi Mayhem,
I think you were offline.
Was like huge.
Still playing the
game.
Wasn't. People were talking about it.
I wasn't offline. I just wasn't looking into
Hybrid
it.
Heroes made like 30 videos.
Yeah.
People are talking about it. Okay, but yeah, sorry.
Yeah. All I'm saying is Mochi Mayhem, they left something that people just like continually talk about, which is the relationships. Like all from start to finish, like you're just watching this and you're like, this is a fun thing to watch about like all these characters, and you get to know them more. It's like way more of what the fans want, I think. Like just character building and
for sure,
you know, a whole situation happening and you get to follow it instead of just like
I think there's something there's something special to be said about new Pokemon content that has nothing to do with the plot, right? That is the soul, I think, that people have missed in recent years.
It had soul. That's a great way to put it.
It's random, it's irrelevant, but that's the beauty of it, right? Mm-hmm. And also it's an add-on, and I don't think it's fair to say that it's free, because you do have to like you have to
buy the DLC.
Yeah, it's not really free. It's not really free.
Well, but you know what I mean. I mean, honestly, it is free, because the product they marketed was the Teal Mask and Indigo Disc.
But you have to
They did not market at any point Mochi Mayhem.
Sure.
That's a good point.
That's a good point.
If it was free, though, it would be available to everyone.
Yeah.
I mean, but by that logic, if it was free, I wouldn't have to pay for Scarlet and Violet.
Yeah.
True.
That's true.
Touche. But yeah, the whole like League Club thing too, like all of their dialogues are so great too. It's just good.
I haven't even looked at that yet. Before we move on to like the away from the plot, and maybe onto Pecharunt. If you're enjoying this episode, please consider supporting Hidden Power on Patreon or YouTube channel members. Right now, we have 4 tiers, and the lowest membership starts at just $5 a month. Supporters get access to our secret Discord server and help control the direction of the podcast. Supporters also get access to our archive of bonus episodes.
Okay, so our Discord, honestly, is popping. We have other creators in there, too, which is kind of fun. It ain't just the 3 of us. We're discussing leaks when they drop. We talk about news. We'll be talking about about how SoulSilverArt has, you know, just garbage takes.
It's so much
a
fun.
place for us to connect.
I'm in there every day. Also, we have revamped our merch store. So proud of every product that is in this store now. We have stickers, t-shirts, mugs, ball caps, right? The dad caps. These ball caps are embroidered. Look at this. It's literally an embroidered.
So clean.
You cannot get anything more high quality than that.
I just got news. Do y'all hear that? Soulbasaur says that he even has his own merch.
I'll talk for him. It's beautiful. Very cool designs. You guys should
Very
check it out.
Japanese style.
Even the front of the shirt has a unique logo.
I'm getting one for sure.
If you're invested in this show, invest in the show. Thank you so much for watching, and now back to the video. I thought this was just hilarious. It's definitely just a troll, but I think it's worth bringing up because it's just funny. Soul, you tweeted that
Oh yeah.
Penny literally, and this is just Game Freak jabbing us in the ribs, right? This is Game Freak being like,
Yeah, this is not
what
a
is
serious
something
tweet.
funny we can say, right?
This is not serious.
Penny
But, yeah.
is the character who only uses evolutions, and Penny also is obsessed with evolution. So when she gets possessed by the Mochi, she says Mochi on, as if it's a poison type evolution. And I thought that was super funny. And artists came out to actually like, you know,
I know. I
showcase.
couldn't believe how many were like, okay,
Yeah.
let's just post.
This
Let's
one
just
is
show
so
'em.
good. This one actually looks like a Pecha Berry. Yeah. Anyways,
It
look,
looks like
here's
Mochi.
another great one by Sunshine Art.
Dude, that brick comment is so good
Yeah.
to me.
The only ghost evolution would require this to get it. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. This one's cool. Anyways,
That's one.
anyways, I thought this was super funny. I didn't even notice it in the first playthrough. I would have been screaming if I saw this in game.
Dusty would have been posting on Twitter, Gen 10 evolution
Yeah.
confirmed.
Well, you missed it. I made a TikTok, and that did about like 100,000 views on TikTok. I love TikTok again. I'm back on TikTok, baby. If you guys didn't notice, the views don't do good on YouTube, but they pop off on TikTok.
I've had the opposite effect on TikTok, but I give TikTok like very little time of day.
Yeah. I started
Yeah,
making
I feel
videos
like-
native to TikTok, the way like Pen Paladin will do, and then I can see the results on TikTok and Instagram.
He's an inspiration to us all.
Yeah, he
Yes,
is.
he is.
100%. We
He's
got to get
great.
him on at some point.
Yeah, we definitely should. He comes up with some good theories.
So
and
many
stuff,
good
too.
theories. Yeah.
He posted something that was kind of funny recently. I don't remember what it was, but yeah, to move us into Pecharunt, the discussion on Pecharunt
Yeah.
specifically, I will bring up my negative, and I really do think it's my one negative from Mochi Mayhem. If not my one, it is my like biggest one that like actually matters.
Sure.
And that is really cool that we got that lore drop on it yesterday. For us recording, it was yesterday. But why the heck was this not in the game?
Is that your only thing? So like, I was gonna
I
try
kind
to
of agree.
segue. I was gonna try to segue us into this by saying like, how did you feel at the end of Mochi Mayhem before even knowing that this was coming out? You know, like where you're like, they gave us nothing. They gave us there was no lore whatsoever on like why he's there, what he's doing, why he's doing this.
I think
After Terapagos, it's what I expected, because that's
Yeah.
exactly what they did with Terapagos.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
honestly, Indigo Disc lowered my expectations for
Yes.
Mochi Mayhem. So
I
It's
mean,
funny that
I kind of
Kitakami-
always have that expectation.
Teal Mask had so
That's
much
like how
lore.
you
I
should
think
always go in.
Teal Mask was the better DLC of the two.
yes, I agree.
Like at least story wise.
From a story perspective,
Okay, yeah,
absolutely.
Story, yeah, but
Like I think most of the post game is gonna be like playing around with the biomes. But yeah, I agree that Indigo Disc lowered my expectations, and maybe that's why I felt a little underwhelmed after I played it, because I played it pretty quickly for content. I did enjoy it. It went by quick. It was fun, but it's those Pokemon puzzles where it's just busy work. It's like dialogue. Go find Nemona, and then I'm looking around the room. It's like go find the TV remote, and I'm like, what? Like this is like what? Like
Sure.
I solved my
I
problems
mean,
through battling.
that is what Pokemon is.
I know.
Yeah, I guess
100%.
that's all about expectations too. Because like again, like I don't expect Pokemon to
Yeah.
give us like a cool task. You know,
Yeah.
it's gonna be a battle or a walk over here and click A on this or at this person.
I'm always hoping that the next time is going to be the time where they end up doing it, because I mean, they're trying to improve on some
They are.
things, you know.
It
This
is
already
true
is an
that-
improvement.
Yeah. I don't know. I kind of want to just dive into the lore of this. Like Pecharunt, here's the thing. We've known about Pecharunt for 3 weeks or something like that. So I'm not too like I'm not too surprised or whatever by like what it actually is. Like the beauty of this trailer is that we actually get an explanation for the Loyal 3, more Ogerpon stuff, right? What Pecharunt actually is. I don't even know where to begin. What are you guys being called towards right now?
I mean, I'm still thinking about what Lumi was saying with like there not being anything. The biggest thing though is this is how Pokemon always does things. I said this in the last video, like you're supposed to go and find it yourself kind of thing. And I was so happy that I got out all my theories before this dropped because I like basically all of them were wrong except for like one. But there was so much stuff like the third signboard being about Pecharunt. I thought that this is what we were going to talk about today, but instead that this whole video like destroyed all the theories that I had. But it was still fun to like figure out all those things and like let it be your headcanon for the rest of all time. But yeah, then this video came out and it's just Momotaro. It's just the story of Momotaro. Like
I think it's great
with a little twist.
Yeah, I'm happy that we got this. I don't think we get stuff like this typically.
No, this is
like
new.
this. Like, and if we don't get it in the game, I'm happy to get it elsewhere. I think, I think it would have been a little bit nice to maybe like it's like the missing here's the thing. We don't need a whole narrative, right? Because every single media platform or whatever, like there's different ways to tell stories. Obviously, a video game needs to be immersive, right? So you're not like I don't think cutscenes in video games, like little cutscenes are fine to kind of set things up, but that shouldn't be. I don't want a 5-minute cutscene of what we got in this video in the Mochi Mayhem, right? I don't want.
Oh,
that.
I do.
I mean, tons of people did.
No,
I
no. What
I
you
cannot
do
even
instead is you scatter
describe
books.
how many people said it.
It should be like Skyrim, where there's books scattered throughout Kitakami or whatever stores, or there's NPCs that tell that story, right? And they've done that in the past.
Yes, and I think cutscenes are super valuable. So what I would say is I would take your idea where it's like, yes, it's like books, journal entry, something like that's scattered around the place, NPCs maybe, but when you talk to them, it activates like a piece of the cutscene.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so like
it
activates the like Pecharunt through him leaving on his journey. And then you talk to another NPC or book or whatever, and it shows the cutscene of Pecharunt and Okidogi meeting Monkey Dory and Pheasantipity.
That's a good
talk
point.
to another one, that kind of stuff.
That's a good point.
That'd be like a whole nother DLC for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the thing. It's too big. That's why I said for this, I just want them to drop this.
Even this video, like when I was watching it, I'm like, okay, this is gonna be like a minute. And I was just watching it. I'm like, this is just going.
It's 5 minutes.
The whole thing.
I watched the whole thing and I was like, it ended, and I said, it's over? Like I was enthralled the whole time. 5 minutes went by so quickly. Look at this sword, this sad little thing. I love it.
Is the voice in this trailer the same voice of the Poltergeist video? I haven't looked. I'm wondering if anybody has.
I don't know, but that's a really good thing to point out.
I like the if it is. I don't know that is. I've done no research. I just thought of this. Mm-hmm. If it is, I really like the idea that he's the Kitakami lore keeper.
Yeah, he's the narrator.
You know what's kind of cool is like this one. Obviously, it is different. It's a slightly different art style, but it does remind me of the Legends Arceus, right?
Sure.
All of that
the watercolor effect,
right? Which really just might be. It really just might be. This is maybe.
That's just the vibe of Kitakami. It was supposed. It was an intentional.
Which is the vibe of Hisui.
Love letter to Hisui. I mean,
it's just
which could also maybe
Ursaluna and the actual music from Legends Arceus playing.
And looking forward, it really could be, kind of a sign of a future Johto game possibly.
Yeah.
You ever notice that the Mochi looks like purple blood cells?
It does remind me of blood cells. Like I don't know why, but
I can see it right here. It's like that's your bloodstream.
Did you ever watch Magic School Bus?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Of course, I watch Magic.
Look at it.
That's like when they're inside of somebody's body.
Yeah, right here.
That's what they got.
Dude, this weekend I went to get some coffee in the city, and I was driving by, and I saw it was called I think it was called Mochi Town or Mochi City. It was like a mochi shop, and I was like, I gotta stop there. I gotta stop there.
I
want
want to
mochi.
go.
I don't think I've ever had mochi.
We were in the store the other day, and there was my wife does this thing where as we're walking, she'll point and be like, do you want that? Do you want that? And she pointed to the mochi and she was like, do you want any mochi? And I was like, no, Sarah, didn't you play the game? I can't eat mochi.
Yeah, Lumi, you had a pretty funny tweet. You said, why does Pecharunt and the mochi make everyone do the chicken dance? That is interesting.
Yeah.
I think it's just really goes back to what you were saying.
I mean, honestly, Jan hit it on the nose. Jan responded to it and was like, because that's the easiest thing for them to animate it, and that is the real reason. But
that's true. Yeah.
But
no, the real reason is because it's stupid. So people, do you know how many people that captured? You know what I mean? It's just because it's so
every streamer when they saw Carmine start doing it, they just kind of.
They're like, start doing it. It's like, we're doing the chicken dance. And honestly, all of their dances were kind of different. Carmine's was the most chicken dance. But Penny's was she was like,
oh, she was into it.
Penny was into it. She loved it. And I think Kieran Kieran even says when it does it, it'll give you the option to go Arvin or to go Penny. Yeah. And if you say Arvin, he says Arvin looks a little embarrassed, doesn't he? And if you say Penny, he's like, is it just me, or is Penny really more into this?
Yeah. It's so true. Oh man. Anyway, to go back to your question, Lumi, I'm sending out a tweet in literally 3 minutes.
Okay.
I think that the reason that this little video is not in the game is because it's a mythical. Yeah. And every mythical is attached to a Pokemon movie. And this is our first mythical.
And this is the Pokemon movie?
This is it. This is its story. I'm telling you right now, this is its story. Yeah. That's it. They don't ever need to do...
It's not the first mythical that isn't attached to a movie.
Is it not the first?
Meloetta wasn't.
All right, I gotta change it.
You're welcome. You got 2 minutes left to change that.
Yeah. Meloetta wasn't.
Or just leave it. People will correct
Fiona
you.
Wasn't.
They will.
Yeah, that's true. Farm the engagement.
Well, so
I know, right?
Here's something else that I really, and I guess this isn't really an issue, but it's just the reality is that
Zeraora was. Oh, Zeraora was.
No, Zeraora was. Yeah.
Because Pecharunt is a mystery gift event, right? Because of that, it's eventually it's a mythical, so it's gonna be unobtainable at some point in the future, which is just that's the reality of it, right? And that keeps its rarity.
Yeah, but they've been doing a better job at that, not only kind of giving us Meloetta and Blueberry Academy, giving us Keldeo and the Crown Tundra, but then also
but that's
Brilliant Diamond,
later.
Shining Pearl. Yeah, but I think it's only 15 years later because they're only starting to do those things now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl. You get a free Mew with Jirachi. They did the events for.
Yeah, but those were unavailable for most of my life.
Yeah,
I do hear what you're saying.
Absolutely, but I'm saying I think that they are trying to change that going forward. I hope.
Yeah.
At least.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah. I'm sure you could probably get it at some point. I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure because there's old mystery gift events now that people can. That you can find a way to unlock it. There's events in Gen 4. You can create a new IP address or whatever to create that hotspot, to create those events to trigger through mystery gifts. So maybe, I don't know. That's technically cheating.
It's interesting. So what do you think about this story then too?
So the story's nice. So it's kind of, maybe we can break it down into a couple different, there's a couple things that we learned. I guess let's start out with this. Right, we look at the loyal
from the beginning.
Okay, let's start with the beginning. The beginning is
the untold story. That's why it's not known either.
Oh, true, the untold story of Pecharunt. Do you know it, Soul? Do you want to tell it?
Oh, I've watched this video 20 times since yesterday, maybe more. But no, I was just saying it's the untold story. So nobody in Kitakami has ever heard this story, this side of the story. So the only way that we would ever hear this story is if we went to Pecharunt's original region, just saying. You know.
That's
But anyway,
that's a whole different conversation of where Pecharunt
it's a whole
is
different
originally from. If you want to have that conversation, we can have it.
I do personally think that this is all still. There's a very high possibility this is all pointing to another region that we're going to end up going to.
This is going to be Gen 10. Oh, dude. Gen 10, baby. I'm so excited.
I don't think it's Johto. I think
Watch
it's
it be Denmark.
No, it given like what its connection to the Momotaro story, I think most people are saying that it is based off of the region that it would be from would be based off of Chugoku. Which is on the other side of Johto, so like not the Kanto side, obviously, it's the other side. In the real world, at least. My only thing, and this is a very real thing, is that I don't think that they are going to do a Chugoku region anytime soon, because do you know what is in Chugoku? Hiroshima.
No, I don't think that matters.
I mean, they could just avoid it completely.
Dude, I don't know. I don't think
it's also a pretty small place too.
Also, a lot.
I don't think that's a modern thing, right? That's not.
Yeah.
Listen, I don't think we're going to. I don't think we're going to Russia anytime soon. But I also kind of feel like maybe they would go to China, but I don't really know.
I think there's a better chance of us going to China than Russia.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Russia than China.
But what you're talking about is like victims of a piece of history that was, 80 years ago or something.
It's a big piece of history.
No, it is. No, 100%. But
it's history. You know what I mean? Like, we're talking, for the record, it's...
But there's evil things that have happened all throughout the world of all points.
Right, but it's like the same reason that they didn't touch on Pearl Harbor and Alola and,
Oh, that's true. Dude. I didn't even think of the 9/11.
That's what I'm saying, though.
City.
They wouldn't even think of that. Get anywhere near it. They just be like
they would use the region.
You also have to think too. Pokemon's a Japanese game, so this isn't like an American video game that references that or does something with Hiroshima. This would be like a German game touching on the Holocaust.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know, but who knows? Yeah, it's like you said, it's a conversation for a different day because it's way too. It's big. It could be we go to the Tohoku region instead.
There's so many regions.
I would love that.
If you guys haven't watched that episode we did with Poketsutomi, we talked about all the Japanese inspired Pokemon regions that are possible that we could see in the next generation, and that's a pretty hefty deep dive. So go check out that video if you haven't yet. I'm excited for Gen 10. But to go back to the story, right? So the story I understand is, and you guys can jump in to correct me if I'm mistaken, but Pecharunt gets some positive reinforcement, right? It gets shown some love from the two older people, right? And then it goes out to try to make them even happier, right? To get more of that positive attention. And through that, it basically it enchants the loyal three. They become retainer Pokemon, which there has to be theories there that these Pokemon had previous forms and then became the Pokemon that they are now with the poison. They don't even have the poison type, do they? What are their types?
They do.
They're all poison, right?
Type.
Yeah.
They do.
Yeah,
poison psychic, poison fighting, poison fairy.
So there's a whole theory there, but these loyal three then end up committing crimes and thieving from Ogerpon. So the whole story really is connected.
Murder, Dusty. They also commit murder.
Didn't say that, but yes.
They were defending themselves. And by the way, it wasn't Petra. It was just Okidogi.
Yeah, it was Okidogi and Beznippity killed him. Yeah.
The monkey and the
monkey's just
like.
I love the idea of like they come back and they're like, "We've got your mask," and Pecharunt's like, "Great, no trouble." And they're like, "Well, we did have to kill a guy," and he's like, "You did."
Wait, who did they kill? I don't remember this.
There was a complication.
Who did they kill?
This crazy guy just came out of nowhere and attacked us. Like he just
Ogerpon's still alive. I
beat them up.
That's probably my favorite part of this whole thing, where it's just like the man appeared and he just tried to fight them.
Dude, it's like got the glowing anime eyes, and then he rushes in. You know?
Where is it? They're like, haha, we got him. We got them.
Right here.
And then he.
He's a menace.
I gotta take him out.
That's crazy. So do we think the man is a man? Do we think it's just a man?
Yeah.
It said Ogerpon's human friend.
So
Yeah, it says multiple times that he's a man. So
yes, but we know that
It's just a man.
But isn't this a case of an untrustworthy narrator?
I don't know where that idea is coming from.
Kitakami was an untrustworthy narrator.
I think all
This is the true story.
think all things. Is it a true story? It's a legend.
Dusty, you sound like a tinfoil hat conspiracy theorist.
No, dude, I'm telling you.
When do we trust anyone?
Yes, I think that's a real thing. I think anything we get in the Pokemon universe, they've very clearly made it seem like everything is a point of view, even the Pokedex.
I think
not just in Hisui,
change,
but all Pokedexes, right? Raichu can't, shoot 10 million volts of electricity or whatever.
No,
right?
well, the Pokedex is just a load of crap always. Though.
Yes,
like, that's not even a thing.
And I think these stories could also be
a fraud.
Listen, we playing through Scarlet and Violet, we see that Heath's journal is full of a bunch of BS, right? We never saw those fusion paradox, right?
That's a little bit. I think all these things are important in context, though, right? Like Heath's journal was supposed to be wrong and mysterious. The story of Kitakami was supposed to be wrong and mysterious. This is Pokemon going, "Hey, here's your answers. Like here's
the real story."
So what we learned in Kitakami, those were the trustworthy narrations, right?
I mean, yeah, we know that because what we first heard in Kitakami was that Ogerpon was an evil ogre that would murder people,
and instead it was the opposite. And now we've learned that there was more to it.
I have never heard of a human fighting off legendary Pokemon. So to me, I think
this was back in like Hisuian times.
Ash called Palkia an SOB.
Did really?
It's a translation error, but it's a popular meme.
Really?
Someone will know what I'm referencing.
Bro, anime canon is even wilder than any of this. Too.
Ash tried to punch a Mewtwo, so there we go. This guy was just Ash Ketchum.
If you're looking for game stuff, this is in the time of Hisui, and they were didn't even do things with Pokemon, like be a trainer. This guy was just a friend of Ogerpon's, and he probably was like, I'm just going to fight these guys off. You know what I'm saying? In Legends Arceus, you are the person, you can get killed by Pokemon, which is basically the same thing as this.
True. That's valid.
Yeah.
He was a strong man and probably an idiot because he died from these. Yeah. He was like, I'm going to take on some legendary Pokemon. I love the
idea that this man, dude, Soul, this man was a Florida man.
Yeah.
This man in Ogerpon, they traveled from the Florida region, and he came in here and he was like, "All right, what's going on here?
Y'all stealing from me?" They literally were just trying to thieve, and they just got caught by this crazy person. And so then Ogerpon,
Florida man tries to fight rabid dog and bird.
Yeah,
dies.
The craziest thing in the story,
was epic too.
Yeah, the craziest thing is that Ogerpon, being pure grass type in this form, can fight off all of these poison Pokemon. That's kind of wild.
That's that angry. They picked the fight with the wrong two people.
Never underestimate the power of murder
and anger.
Although technically, this was manslaughter, not murder.
Technically, yeah.
It wasn't premeditated.
Dude, this battle honestly is so epic.
Yeah,
that is cool.
Really is.
Ogerpon takes care of them all, and then is seen.
See, I just wish in general we got stuff like this in the game. You know what I mean? We get these awesome animations and stuff, and in the game, we get Zacian turning by walking in place. And,
well, it's a lot easier to do this apparently.
So this story,
I don't really mind.
So this story is the reason why everyone fears Ogerpon and the man, right? Because they're defending their property, their masks. Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the only reason why that was a bad thing for the townspeople is that they were probably being influenced by Pecharunt's
no.
Isn't it like a love potion? It's like I saw that.
It's a love potion.
Isn't it kind of? Or
well, that's kind of an interesting
mind
thing,
control?
and I'll get into that in a second. But first off, I don't think the townspeople were under the influence of Pecharunt. You have to think of the perspective of a townsperson.
Yeah.
You're sitting there and you just see these 3 Pokemon or 4 Pokemon, Pecharunt was there too, chilling, and then all of a sudden the ogre, who you were already afraid of, comes down from the mountain and murders them.
Yeah.
She just murdered. You don't know what's gonna.
I love Ogerpon.
Is she going to kill me now?
They didn't see the first part. They only saw this part.
Yeah.
If you saw this, you'd be like,
right.
happening?
They didn't know that they had stole those masks from Ogerpon. They didn't know any of that. But I will say the interesting thing is the trailer says that Pecharunt's Mochi brings out greed. It doesn't say anything about Pecharunt mind controlling it. So my thought process is that what happens is when Pecharunt is defeated by Ogerpon, and it says it uses the last of its energy to withdraw into its shell, and then it basically sits at Peachy's forever. I think that it all that time basically it was just able to build up power so that now its Mochi could mind control, because it wasn't mind controlling the old people. They weren't doing the chicken dance. They weren't saying Mochi over and over again. But it literally stated.
But they are possessed here. I agree with you, but they are.
Yeah,
if you see right here,
it states. Yeah, you see the purple eyes, but it states that it just enhanced their greed. It doesn't say that they were put under the control of Pecharunt.
Interesting. That's true, because in the epilogue, the townspeople literally. They are literally pawns.
I will tell you
they
that.
are
retainers.
It doesn't add up. They are retainers of the people. Become retainers of Pecharunt.
It's even crazier than that. Like the loyal
Okie
three,
Dokie, Pheasantipity, and Monkey Dory had a mind of their own.
Yeah,
they were just
Carmine did not.
Yeah, they were their own
that doesn't
people.
Add up.
It doesn't all add up.
It says that Pecharunt tamed Okie Dokie. It doesn't say that wording sounds like there's effort there. Not just fed it Mochi and was in control.
Yeah. Interesting. I'm thinking about that now. That's why I'm saying, I don't think all of this stuff adds up. I think I think the untold story of Pecharunt to me means that there was a story, that this is a legend, just like Legends Arceus, passed down from generation to generation. This is another angle of the story. What do they call that? Like Rosh, what's that film style? That film style where there's three stories. There's three perspectives. That's what I feel like. This is another perspective.
Always two sides to one story, so I think that's all.
There's three sides to every story: your side, my side, and the truth.
I imagine their kids are like, yeah, our grandparents told us that this beautiful Pokemon would make them delicious mochi, and then this happened, and then it gets passed on. But I do see what you're saying, because it is obviously this story in itself does tell both sides. So
a little bit. This is kind of that side more though. It's Pecharunt's side. I think the other biggest thing is to talk about its motives and what it was doing the whole time. It literally caused this whole thing to happen because it wanted more and more love. It's the original greedy Pokemon.
And if you notice,
people, they already loved it.
It looks like a heart.
They just wanted more.
It's like a square heart. The Pecha Berry looks like a heart. It even has little heart hands.
Yeah.
And what's inside? Where's the heart? It's at the center of your body, right? And that's what it is.
Are you ready for my wild theory?
Yeah. Okay. Only if you haven't done research.
So, I haven't done a ton of research, but
that's perfect.
So Monkey Dory, I did do a video on this a second ago.
Okay.
So there's some research, but Monkey Dory, but it's a theory. So at the end of the day, it's opinion, really.
I wonder if you're gonna say something that I thinking.
I don't know if this is a joke.
When Pecharunt encounters Monkey Dory, it says that he wanted to add Monkey Dory to his party because Monkey Dory can see the future. So Monkey Dory already has the psychic powers.
Yes, you are. I was gonna do this too, bro. Yeah.
My thought process is that Pecharunt did not create the toxic chain. There is something else in that region that has infected these Pokemon, including Pecharunt. Pecharunt also has an original form pre-toxic chain. And think about it too. Okie Dokie, Pheasantipity, and Monkey Dory, they were all changed by the toxic chain because of a desire. Okie Dokie wanted to get stronger, Monkey Dory wanted to get wise, Pheasantipity wanted to get beautiful.
Pecharunt wanted to be loved.
And it literally gave it the ability to buy love.
Dude, what? So what else is out there? That's I love that so much.
You will never get that answer, that's for sure. This is the definitive end of this story, I would say, but
that is so cool. What if it's
the theory's up on my channel when this drops out?
Oh, that's sick, dude. That's so cool. That's crazy.
I'm
well,
glad
so
I'm
where's the
going in a
toxic
different
chain on
direction,
this?
but I thought the same thing.
And you can kind of see like it has like these corruption points, right? This looks like the lines on like Mega Groudon or whatever, Primal Groudon or Kyogre. I love that theory so much. But I mean, it also just ties in with most of what Scarlet and Violet is, right? It is about greed. There was a Paldean king, I think it was like 15 or maybe it was 3,000 years ago or something.
A long time ago.
Yeah, where, you know, his greed overcame him, which sunk the region of Paldea, right? There were, you know, Heath in the modern empire, or what was it, the Academy of Paldea, they had greed. They wanted to see what was at the bottom of Area Zero. That's really cool to see how the story of Kitakami and the Teal Mask, and actually, and the Indigo Disc all ties in with the major themes of Scarlet and Violet. That's really cool.
Definitely.
That's a great theory, man. I'll go check out that video. If you guys don't know yet, we do have a clips channel, Hidden Power Plus, where we isolate and upload all of our clips from these longer episodes. If you ever want to go back to a theory, if you ever want to go to back to a specific moment with some of our with the guests we've had on this channel or anything else, you can go over and subscribe to Hidden Power Plus. There should be a link in the description. If you guys go over there and subscribe, that'd be super helpful. And Lumi, what's next?
Okay, well, we want to shout out our patrons. We want to give a shout out to our mythical tier patrons. Those are SEH, Art Gold, Jasco, Candace Wendy's, and Trash Panda. And a super extra special shout out to our Arceus tier supporters, which are Drogain and Bramtastic. Thank you all so very much.
Yeah, thank you guys so much. Honestly, you guys are the producers of this show. In your support, more than ever, we were talking offline, like this time of year and in the coming months, this is when YouTube ad revenue drops, and this is also when interest in Pokemon drops. So your support and your continued funding of this podcast helps us kind of fight that, where we can continue to put out videos weekly.
All right, thanks, bye.
Yeah, thanks guys, appreciate it. I'll see ya.
Bye!